Hello. I am bored. And I need to feel something. I am very bored. So, you know what, let's just move. Here we go.
Since my hot take on therians went viral, a lot of people are making a lot of videos about me.
I think I've only seen one, and that was by Elixir, who, I think I've only seen one, which was by someone called Elixir, and who was actually the one who, alerted me of this situation. Yeah, so, if I get a bit pissed off, I'm sorry, but I'm theorying myself, so this is gonna be great, isn't it?
Sending me countless harassing messages and
Oh shit, I don't have desktop audio on. That's okay. It would be great if I had desktop audio on.
leaving countless comments in my videos and my streams demanding that I make a public apology. But I got something better than that. I've got another hot take for you today.
Oh goodness. I'm putting this in I'm speeding this up because she talks really slowly.
And I don't care if you get angry at this. If you find yourself getting angry at this, then you're the person that this video is directed at. I am done. Fini. Sayonara. Arrivederci. To 90% of the
I have no idea what either of those words mean. I'm assuming they mean finish.
LGBTQIA, wokeism, Gen Z left-wing ideologies, and 90% of internet brain-rotted communities in 2024.
I've been all your nano stuff. That is busting, no cap. What?
And this is nearly 100% the younger generation.
Okay.
The Gen Zs, the Gen Alpha, because it's the older generations, the millennials and the boomers and the older members of the LGBTQIA who agree with me on most of my stances.
Okay. That is complete BS. Well, it's not BS. I believe that that's the case. But the reasoning. Okay, the reason why the older generations believe that the reason the older generations believe in you is because, one, they have no idea what a theory is, and they've just seen your take in their feed and been like, hey, I have no idea what a therian is, let's watch it. And when they watch it, they now have a completely misinformed and incorrect stance on therians because of what you've said. Your take was severely misinformed, and I don't blame you for that. There is tons of misinformation floating around social media about the therian community. And do I blame you for believing that? No. It's not your fault. What I do blame you for is not doing the research. Not doing the research before making your take. What you did is you saw a couple therians in your TikTok feed or Shorts feed or whatever being like doing quadropics and said, hey, that is really weird. Why? That is really weird. So, and then you just made a take on it without doing any research on A, what a therian actually is, 2, what therians experience, and 3, also, I watched Alexa's videos, who is an actual trans person. I'm not trying to speak for the trans community here, but based off what Alexa said, I have watched Alexa's video multiple times, and those takes and statements you made against therians can be easily misinterpreted can be easily switched and be hated on for trans people in the trans community. Most of the arguments, it is stalling. That's great. But most of the takes that you make can be easily be like most of the statements you made are statements used against trans community. And from what I've heard from Alexa's video, you contacted her in DMs, basically claiming the ridiculous things that they did not say about you, claiming that they said you were transphobe, which they never did. I watched the video, never once called you a transphobe. Anyways, I'm going off topic.
I would also like to make it very clear at the start of this video that I am pansexual and that I was bisexual before I was pansexual, when I realised I was pansexual in like 2016, 2017.
Great, I'm bi. Good to know. Good to know, I'm bi. But being gay and being bi, being pan, being all that stuff, there are so many. It's completely different from being trans. I'm not saying that they're not about the LGBT because they're not trans. But I'm saying being trans and being gay are completely different things. I'm just saying. But just because you are pan, it does not mean you get to speak for the trans community. Yes, you can be an ally and support them, but that does not mean you can speak for them.
And I wasn't bisexual. So I am and always have been a member of the LGBTQIA. Ever since I was 8 years old, when I saw that video of Tattoo, I knew. But what I
Good for you.
didn't know or anticipate was the younger generation turning this open-minded, beautiful, safe space for left-minded people into a extremist, ideological, almost cult-like clique. It's crazy to believe that these left-wing thinking people are actually very right-winged in their extremism. If you try to disagree with even one of their ideologies, they will cast you out, they will harass you, they will bully you, and they will target you as a community.
No, we will not. No, we will not. I'm Gen Z. But, no, we will not. If we don't agree with you, that's fine. 90% of us will be like, yep, that's fine. I don't care that you don't agree. We do not care if you don't agree with us. I can assure you. Because what I would do, I'm not going to try and generalize, but what I would do is say, hey, if someone doesn't agree with me, chat's been turned off, that's great. I never done mind, it hasn't. If it was me, I would just be like, hey, you don't agree with me, that's fine. People can have different opinions. We know that people can have different opinions. We do not care. I can assure you, we do not care.
If many people don't know, I'm firstly a full-time streamer and a variety gamer, and I'm also a massive Harry Potter fan.
Good for you.
So naturally, a lot of my viewers were asking if I was going to be a person that was going to be playing Hogwarts Legacy. And we can all probably agree that J.K. Rowling is a massive nutjob and one of the biggest the world over. But before she came out as a nutjob, this is one of the biggest fandoms the world over and was a massive safe place for every member of the LGBTQIA.
I have watched this before, and what she's about to say, I completely agree with.
Created a world where you could do anything and be anything you wanted to be. This world was bigger than her at this stage, 20 years later. So even if she's crazy, we all know that, she doesn't align with the game and the universe anymore. So that's the message I was trying to give to people in my stream in February 2023, that you could play Hogwarts Legacy and you could like Harry Potter, and that doesn't mean that you align with the ideologies of J.K. Rowling.
I completely agree with that. Like, my best friend loves Harry Potter. Does that mean she's homophobic and transphobic? No. Well, she is half homophobic. That doesn't... No, she's not homophobic. Does that mean just because she loves Harry Potter and she can rant about me about the series all she wants, But does that mean she's transphobic immediately just because she likes something? No. No, it doesn't. Like, that, I completely agree with what she just said. You can like someone and like a community, but you don't have to agree with their ideologies. I completely agree with that.
Because honestly, what did you want me to do? Did you want me to throw out all my Harry Potter stuff? All my books? All my memories? That's like one of the first books my dad read to me when I was like 6 years old was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
I agree. When I found out, like, I completely agree with that. No, you do not have to, you shouldn't throw out all the memories. The first Harry Potter was the first. Sorry, it's storming outside. Harry Potter was the first, like, novel I read as a kid. It was the first novel I read. I was given the entire book set as a birthday present, and I've read every single one. I'm in the process of rereading them. But as soon as I found out J.K. Rowling was a bad person, did I throw out everything? No. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
That's like a core memory for me. So no, I'm not going to do that just because you say what I have to do. No.
I agree with that. Just because someone is a bad person, that doesn't mean you get to throw out all the memories of you being in their community. Oh, that's thunder. But, like, do I say? I never said. This J.K. Rowling and the Harry Potter community, just because you like J.K. Rowling's books and novels, that doesn't mean you are a transphobe immediately. I agree with that. You shouldn't have to throw away all the memories just because the creator of those memories are a bad person. Not the creator of the memories, but you know what I mean.
That's not fair. If you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead. But don't expect everyone else to fall in line and then call us homophobes, transphobes. It's not fair. Do you want to know how many friends I lost? How many streaming friends? How many collabs? How many content creator friends I lost in February 2023? All of them. I lost them all.
I'm going to show you. You did not lose those friends because of your opinion. You lost your friends because of the way you said your opinion, because of the way you said your hot take. You do not have to say, if you want to hate therians, go ahead. Be my guest. I don't care. But I'm not saying you have to keep it inside yourself. You should. But you don't have to go out and say that we're impacting an entire other community that you aren't a part of. Well, you are, you cannot speak for trans people. You cannot speak for therians. But you can say your own opinion, and that's fine. Just be respectful about it.
All the regular people that I used to raise, all the regular streams I used to watch, blocked me. Didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore.
I undoubtedly believe that if you were respectful about your opinion on therians, you would still have those friends. I guarantee it.
Even though I raised $7,230 for Trans Equality Network Ireland and the National Centre of Trans Equality in the United States, I will post the pictures right here so that you can see that I'm not.
I'm glad she gave proof of that. No, that was lightning. But there is no reason. I'm so glad you did that. Great. Good. Support trans people. But no one ever called you a transphobe. No one ever accused you of being a transphobe. We were just saying that the statements you made against therians are usually used against trans people.
Raise that money. Because how I saw it was that even if the game was worth 70, if everyone tried to give the money back to the trans community in some way and offset it, then it could be justified.
Doesn't everything that has to do with Hogwarts and Harry Potter series, like any games, movies, have to be run by J.K. Rowling? So it's money, either that or not, is being sent to J.K. Rowling. Either way. But I agree. Like that, send that money to trans people.
And that was the message that I was trying to bring across, but no. Because I didn't fall in line with what I was being told to do, I was wrong.
You were using another community to bring. You're using a community to bring down another, which is not okay. You shouldn't be bringing down a community, point blank period. But the fact that you were using the trans community, like arguments are used usually against the trans community, against therians, it could be easily misinterpreted that you are a transphobe.
And you couldn't be friends with me anymore because I was a transphobe. I was getting attacked in nearly every stream. I was getting hate raids all the time. And I actually never had such a higher demographic. I was getting like 500 average views per stream.
Okay, this is a bit of a side tangent, but that is something I want to talk about. Oh yeah, it's Halloween, by the way. Happy Halloween. If you hate on someone, in their comments, in their Twitch chat, I don't know, whatever, in their YouTube comments, in their Twitch chat, I don't care. But like, on social media, I will say that. You are giving them, if you're on YouTube, if you're hating them on them on YouTube, you are giving them, you're feeding them into the algorithm, because YouTube doesn't read the comments. It just sees comment, and then it says, because this video is getting comments, it must be good, so it pushes it into the algorithm, pushes it more into the algorithm, so more people will see it. On Twitch, you're still a viewer, you're still watching.
I guess someone agreed with my ideology. I will always be an ally of the LGBTQIA. I will always be an ally for trans members of the LGBTQIA. I
Good.
will always stand up for people. That's what I think is important to do as a streamer, as a content creator. And I will always try and help people feel heard when they're not being heard behind a wave of people who aren't listening. Now comes it.
But you yourself weren't listening, Catastrophe. You yourself weren't listening.
In the recent debacle that I've had, the therian community, and I don't have a problem. If you want to run around doing quadrobics with a tail and a mask, sure, you do you.
That is completely different from being a therian. I want to reiterate this. You can be quadrobics and wear a mask and have a tail and not be a therian. You can. And the fact that the Amazon listing for these masks are named therian tail is absolutely crazy. Therian mask is actually crazy, because you can be just a normal person. You can be just a regular human being. I'm not saying the therians are normal, but you can just be human and do quadrobics. You can just be human and wear a mask and wear a tail. That does not automatically mean you're a therian, which is another piece of misinformation I found.
But my problem is in the mental health side of things, and how the offset of some members of the therian community have had a negative impact on members of the trans community. And I've talked with members of the therian community. We talked together on stream last week. Let me show you how it went. So for like all of the therian people that are over on YouTube that are in the chat right now, I see one, and like they can stay in the chat. Don't ban them from the chat.
Oh, by the way, yeah, it's really storming, so So yeah, it's storming right now, so don't mind me. It's just, yeah,
They're not being rude. If they be rude, ban them from the chat.
I agree with that.
But I want them to hear this. I want the Therian people in the YouTube chat to hear this. See how I didn't assume anyone's pronouns or gender? Very mindful. Very demure.
Okay, I want to make a statement on that. This is very, I watched Alexa's video, and this is very obviously a response to them. They did not say, they did not assume your gender. In fact, in their first video, they did not at all assume your gender. At the start, they said, I did not know Catastrophe's gender, so I'm going, but I assume. But from what I've seen, she uses she, her, so then they use that. But they did research. They checked before using she, her. Or did they use they, them? I can't remember. But either way, they did not assume gender. And they never made any comment about you being a transphobe. Never said that at all. So I don't know why you keep bringing it up.
So, is there any Therians in the chat?
Me.
Florial on pause. Okay.
I think I
I'll
watched
direct my
them
questions
before.
at you. So, if there's a few people answering. My first question.
Nix. Okay.
Questions at you. So, if there's a few
Nix, love that username.
people answering. My first question is, do you have a mask? Like,
Yes,
the
I
way
do.
Lots of Therians like to do quadrobics, which is exercises and learning how to walk on your hands and your legs while being like 4. Yeah.
While being like 4. That's crazy.
4. So I'll tell you my research on what I've seen as to why we like to wear masks.
Okay. But I'm glad she did actually do research. I'm glad she did. I'm glad she what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm glad she actually did research, from what I could see. I didn't just see what was on her TikTok feed.
And what I read online was that the reason that she liked to wear masks is because it makes you feel more connected to the animal spirit that you feel most connected to.
Yes, that is correct.
And when you wear the mask, it helps you feel like that part of yourself.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, stay with it. I also learned about shifting.
That's where a lot of people get wrong. Can I look at the Wikipedia? Okay, let's look at the Wikipedia page. Therianthropy, the mythological ability or affliction of individuals to metamorphose into animals or hybrids by means of shapeshifting. This is not true. This is not true. This is not true, which is where a lot of people get misinformation. This is not true at all. Especially when you use character AI. If you do not, hot tip, don't put your Therian in your persona, because it will just shapeshift. And do not try to shift. Don't put it in your persona. Don't say your Therian, period. Because it will take this from Wikipedia and then just use it. Which is where a lot of misinformation comes from. This is correct. A member of the contemporary subculture of therianthropy, a subcommunity of other kin which is based on psychological identification with animals. That is true.
Do any of you practice shifting?
It is involuntary.
It's involuntary. Please explain to me why it's involuntary.
Oh, wait for this thunder. So, therians. We shift because we cannot control it. Not all therians shift. It's like in the mind. If you force a shift, if you only think you're a community, you're a therian. Because you shift and you force it, not therian. You can't force a shift. You cannot force a shift. It's involuntary because since therian therapy is all in like your mind and spirit and everything like that, I don't know how to explain it, but like you can't force it.
And I'll explain to everyone in the chat what shifting is. So I have done my research, and shifting in the therian community
it can be other can as well.
Is when you become mentally more in tune with your animal spirit.
Yes, but there are plenty of types of shifting. There's phantom, mental, something to do with shadows, mirrors. There's too many.
And you start to act
mental shift.
like said animal, as an example.
Yeah, that is a mental shift,
You
as
might
you
naturally
explained.
go into your quadrobics stance.
That is a phantom
You might
shift.
psychologically feel that you have a tail. That's not there,
phantom shift.
but you feel it's there. Or you might just shift into an animalistic mindset. Am I getting this right?
Here, I also want to mention this. Therians have unhuman-like urges and do things and have unhuman traits. Like, for example, a domestic dog therian might go to sleep curled up in a little ball.
Okay. So all the therians over in the YouTube chat are saying that everything that I'm saying is correct, and it's on point with what they believe in so far when it comes to the masks and when it comes to shifting and how it's involuntary when shifting happens. Okay. I haven't lost anyone yet, have I? That's
No.
too much. Okay. Does
Well,
anyone
you
here
lost
know what
me a while ago.
psychosis is? Does anyone here know the medical term?
She is not about to compare shifting to fucking psychosis, is she? Okay.
For psychosis. Psychosis refers to a collection of symptoms that affect the mind, where there has been some loss of contact with reality. During an episode of psychosis, a person's thoughts and perception are disrupted, and they may have difficulty recognizing what is real and what is not. Now let me look up the definition of shifting in therian. Shifts, shifting, or shifting are the terms used when therianthropes have experiences that cause them to feel more like their stereotype in a non-physical manner. Shifts are usually temporary, but some therians have reportedly feeling constant shifts, most commonly phantom shifts.
That's me, by the way.
This is psychosis.
No, it is not. Okay. She says, disclaimer, this is all purely my opinion on the topic and I'm not a medical professional. Therians are almost all children. They are all people under 15. Almost all. 15, 16. They're all children or teenagers. You are not, and just because you yourself have psychosis, you say yourself, disclaimer, you are not a medical professional. You are not a medical professional. So don't tell fucking children they have goddamn psychosis because of an identity. What the hell? You are not a medical professional, so don't tell people that they have psychosis. Psychosis is a mental illness. It is a mental health issue. So because it causes distress to the person. Shifts do not cause distress to anyone. I can assure you that. Oh yeah, sometimes when it happens in public, it's a bit anxiety inducing, but it's not causing distress. It's not causing mass distress. We know we are human during shifts. Lycanthropes may experience. The only somewhat comparable is lycanthropes. I'm not saying lycanthropes do have psychosis, but lycanthropy is an actual diagnosed mental illness. because lycanthropes actually believe during a shift that they have no control over what they do in a shift. They sometimes, when they shift, they end up in a completely different place. They've done something, they don't know what they've done. They have no idea what they're doing during shift. They completely feel like an animal. But no, non-therians, no, definitely not. Also, not to mention, some therians don't even shift at all. Don't even shift at all. That is complete bullshit. What the hell? She literally just went psychosis meaning. A Severian can. She just read this and thought, done no other research. No other research. And just read this. I was like, okay, that sounds a lot like therian shifts. If we go into mind.org.uk, psychosis, also called a psychotic experience or psychotic episode, is when you perceive or interpret reality in a different way from people around you. There's another one. Cool news today. Psychosis refers to a loss of contact with reality. Hallucinations and delusions are its most common symptoms. Someone who develops psychosis, they will have their own unique set of symptoms according to their particular circumstances. Health Direct. That cannot tell what is real and what is not. We know what is real. We know we do during the phantom shift. We know we do not have a tail, but it just feels like we do. You have not done any research. You are not a therapist. You are not a mental health worker. You have not done any studying on psychology, and neither have I. But you have literally just gone psychosis. You yourself has gone through psychosis. I've watched this video before. You say yourself you have gone through psychosis. But you are not a therian. You have no idea what a shift feels like. You have no idea what a shift is. You've just gone therian shifting. And use this and said, you know what, done. New hot take developed. That is not anything. You have not, that I can almost ensure you, I know you have had psychosis. You may have knowledge on psychosis, but you clearly do not have any knowledge, little to no knowledge on therian shifting, or therians in general.
There has been some loss of contact with reality. I am not trying to be rude to you.
Really now?
But this is dangerous. This is literally dangerous. Because once you start telling your mind that something is correct, it takes years of mental health and psychological therapy to fix what you have done. This is super, super dangerous for your brain. I love how you do this as in dangerous. So I'll give you another example of believing things that aren't real. For example, when my ex passed away from suicide, I thought that I was seeing him everywhere. I thought that, like, I was seeing him in places in, like, where I went to school. When I was going home, I thought I heard his ringtone on Fridays because he'd always call me on a Friday. I thought that I was receiving messages from him when I wasn't. And I was telling my brain that this was happening because I didn't want to deal with the reality that he wasn't there anymore.
And in what comparison does that have what comparison is that anywhere close to shifting? In what world? In what world? Genuinely, I want an answer. Shifting. I have experienced my fair share of shift. Why? We know that shifts are just a trick of our mind. We know we don't actually have a tail. We know we are not actually a stereotype. We know that. And we never said that we were a therian type. That I was a crow, I was a cat, I was a wolf. I never said that. Never, and I assure you, no one else other than fake therians have.
This is psychosis.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
This is the same thing.
No, it's not. I am sorry that you went through that, but shifting is not psychosis. Shifting is completely different to shifting.
You are telling yourself something that is not true.
No, we are not. No, we are not.
Like when you tell your brain that it's okay that these things are happening, your brain is going to continue to believe that this is real.
We are not telling ourselves that it's real. We're not saying anything other than we can. Well, usually, if we are shifting in an unsafe environment, we still have our control of ourselves. We are not telling ourselves that it's real and we are our stereotypes. We're not saying that. We're not convincing ourselves that anything other than that, we're not convincing ourselves that anything is real.
When it's not. And it's not good for the development of your brain. I will stand with my hand over my heart and say that I do not think that the therian community, from the research that I have done, is safe for the development of young people's brains, especially young teenagers or children. It is not safe for children to be part of a community where the main goal of the community is to disconnect themselves from reality as much as possible.
We are not trying to disconnect ourselves from reality. We are not trying to become the animal. Yeah, the seizures disorder can get a bit out of hand, but we never wanted. Well, yeah, we can want to become the animal, but that doesn't mean we are actively trying to become the animal. We aren't trying to identify as that animal. We are identifying as therians, not as an animal, not as a species that is anything other than human. Mythological or not.
And this is different from D&D or playing video games, because when you play D&D or video games, you can pick up the game, put down the game, get back to your regular life.
Therians can do that as well. Therians can do that as well. We can act like we're not a therian. Yeah, it can be hard, but we can. We can't pick up and put down an identity. But what we can do is just ignore it. We can ignore it. No matter how hard it might be, we can ignore it.
This is making it difficult for people.
Bye!
To tell the difference between what is real and what is not, and that's what's dangerous. It makes me so angry because I've been called a transphobe and a fake ally for what I said in my live stream.
Alexa never said anything about you being transphobic. Yes, she mentioned you might have been a fake ally, but she never called you a transphobe. Never.
So I just want to reiterate my hot take, and I still stand by it today. I believe that neo-pronouns such as cats, cats, dogs, dogs, wolf, wolves.
Okay. I can almost 100% guarantee that these people who are making these TikToks are bullshitting. No one is using by wolf them, wolf self, cat self, paw self, feline self. No one is using that. And if they are, I do not care. If they are, don't care. Go for your life. But it's not okay. Go for your life. If you use these, go for your life. But as far as I'm aware, no one used these. People who have made these TikToks are bullshitting. They're just making a joke. You know what I mean? Like, it's a joke. I almost guarantee it.
That some members of the therian community use is actually more damaging to the wider acceptance of the trans community in society.
No, they're not. How is one community which is completely different from another? Like, affecting each other? Trans community isn't impacting the therian community. The therian community isn't impacting trans community. But they are two completely different communities. There are identities outside the LGBT, and it's insane how it is insane how misinformed and misinformation. It's crazy how misinformation can change opinions like that. Change opinions like this. But these are two completely different communities. Therians, the only somewhat correlation is that I'm saying some therians are trans. Most therians have some kind of correlation with LGBTQIA. But does that mean anything? No. No, it's not.
People within the trans community have worked so hard for decades to be recognised and accepted as the gender that they recognise as. And it's these f***ing kids now in Gen Z and Gen Alpha who are blowing up on the internet and the news telling people that they have to recognise them for their neo-pronouns.
No one has done that. No, I assure you, no one has gone in the news being like, hey, I'm wolf them, wolf self. No one has done that. No one.
And of course, gentle parenting, schools and society has to pander to this, but
No, they are not. I can assure you. I go to a Christian school. Teachers do not give a crap. I can assure you. Teachers do not give two shits. They do not give two shits about whether you walk along in all fours. Actually, you know what? They're stopping it. I got in trouble for doing culture aerobics. I got in trouble for doing it. Gentle parenting. Yes. Is it? She has a point. I am not saying I agree with that, but she has a point. Trans people have been fighting for the rights they have now. Therians but therians and trans community are a completely different thing. And back to what I was saying before, the whole neo-pronoun thing of cat them, cat self, feline them, feline self, that whole thing is bullshit. I do not agree with that. The whole thing is bullshit. Because if people are actually doing it, I would be like, okay, go for your life. But they are just making something up out of things that were made to identify to validate trans people and that side and the gender identity side of the LGBTQIA. They're just making a mockery of it. But those whole neopronouns, I support neopronouns. If you use whatever neopronouns, you go for your life. But people should not be using them as a tool to bring down two communities at once. Because that whole thing with the cat them, cat self, I don't like that. I'm not being transphobic here, but it does have an impact on the therian community as well. It does. Because, okay, let's go back to where she was saying that.
I believe that neopronouns such as cats, cats, dogs, dogs, wolf, wolf.
The xenogender is mostly targeted towards therians, which it says this xenogender is mostly targeted towards therians, but all may use it. Which insinuates that they are not a therian themselves. I am not saying that they aren't, but that insinuates that they aren't. They are not a part of the therian community. They are not themselves going by it. They've just kind of said new gender without anything backing it. Trans community, they have been fighting for this. And then you can just kind of go on TikTok, say, hey, new gender. Let's just make a duck them, duck, duck non-binary, duck that, duck girl, duck boy. That, I don't like that. I agree with that on some point there. But if people actually use this, go for your life. But I don't understand it personally.
Them for their neopronouns, and of course, since my hot take on therians went viral, a lot of people are making a lot of videos. You're the
Hello.
Especially young teenagers. It was dangerous. It makes who are blowing up on the internet and the news tell the schools up on the internet for these things, and you get put into the news. Things get and this people that say stuff like, "Oh, I recognize as an Apache attack helicopter," and this is what's hurting the trans community. You are making a judgment. Parenting, schools, and society has to pander to this, but in pandering to this, we've also opened the door to people that say stuff like, "Oh, I recognize as an Apache attack helicopter."
And those people are clearly joking.
And this is what's hurting the trans community. You are making a joke out of it. When you blow up on the internet for these things and you get put into the news, things get out of control.
I actually want to Google this. Have therians been on the news? Therian on news.
It's okay, Megan. At AMP Super, our members can call on us. Could I add him as my super beneficiary? I love you.
What?
What? Get super close to your super with AMP.
Is this Sky News Australia?
Let's hear now from a young lady who identifies as a therian, and she has some questions.
So first question for other bird therians, what are some things you do that help you feel more connected to your therian type? Like, I know that for people whose therian types are four-legged, they can do quadrobics, and that helps them a lot.
We can't really learn to fly, can we?
I also want to clarify for anyone who doesn't know, quadrobics does not automatically equal therians. People can do quadrobics and not be a therian.
See?
So that's my first question, how to feel more connected to bird stereotypes. And second question is for systems with therian alters. do these alters appear human in our world, or do they appear as their stereotype in our world? Or is it kind of a combo situation? Like, we have someone in our system who is both a guy and a vulture at the same time. We don't consider him a therian because he doesn't consider himself a therian. He just kind of exists as both of those things at once. Is that how therian alters work?
I have no idea what therian alters are.
Did you notice that her pronouns are bone and brittle? Good luck with all that, lady.
Okay, I stand corrected. There have been therians on the news.
People spin narratives and people start to make a joke out of people who just want to be recognized as the gender they are working so hard to be recognized as. You're not a cat. You're not a dog. So asking people to recognize you as these things is ridiculous. I'm never going to agree with neopronouns. I'm sorry, but that's just my take on that.
Okay, so back to the news thing. Was that person's reaction justified? Yes. But they were just asking an actual question. And also, I doubt anyone actually uses them. If someone asked me to do that, would I do it? Yes. Out of respect. But like, would I do it willingly? No.
As these things is ridiculous. I'm never going to agree with neopronouns. I'm sorry, but that's just my take on that.
Okay. She doesn't agree with neopronouns. There are neopronouns for the trans community. It's not just for saying that you hate all neopronouns because of what? 4 examples? That is not good. 4 examples should not define your entire opinion. Neopronouns for the trans community is normal. Trans people have neopronouns. Some trans people do have neopronouns. That is just contributing to the fact that you are a fake ally.
Do you want to know how many collabs, how many friends, how many streaming friends I've lost as a result of my disagreements with the therian community and neopronouns? None of them.
Because people are allowed to have opinions. This is what I stand by with all my heart. Opinions, at the end of the day, are just words, but they do not define you. But the things you do and the things you say are what define you. You have made wildly inaccurate comments about a community, and you are speaking for a community you yourself are not a part of. You do not know what it's like to be trans, and neither do I. I am not trying to speak for the trans community. Anytime I am speaking about the trans community, I'm using it based off Alexa's video and what they have said. I am not trying to put myself in the place of a trans person.
None of them. Because I think a large majority of people in silence actually agree with me.
No, you're wrong about that though.
They're just too afraid to come out and say it in public because they don't want to deal with the drama and the hate and the harassment that the community brings to them. And honestly,
it's not the community. Well, it is the community. I am almost certain therians experience so much hate on a daily basis. They experience so much hate. It is insane. You would think they get used to it, but no. We do not get used to it. Therians are sick of just having this misinformation about them. But it's crazy.
drama and the hate and the harassment that the community brings to them.
But you know what? We are just trying to defend ourselves. I am almost certain that most of those comments were not harassing. they are just, some might be filled with anger, yes, but are they? No, you are not, as far as I'm aware, you are not cancelled. The theory community is not trying to cancel you because of your opinion. I don't think they're trying to cancel you at all, but you are making crazily inaccurate responses to the theory about the therian community. You are framing this as an apology, even though it's nothing like an apology. You have just doubled down on your response, not learned anything about from the hate and the so-called harassment you have experienced. You haven't thought, hey, let's leave these 14-year-olds alone. No. You haven't thought that at all. Not once did that cross your mind.
And honestly, this is just not my scene. It doesn't matter how tolerant you are, how open you are, or how loving you are as an individual to other people. If you don't match all of...
Since when were you loving? Since when? You have done nothing. You have not seen through anything that the therian community has said. You have not seen anything. You have just seen one hate comment about you, deleted it, and been like, yeah, and learned nothing from it. You haven't actually stopped to consider that therians may not be mentally ill people. Hey, let's go back to that. You are being mean to people, and if they are so-called mentally ill, why are you treating them like an actual rag doll, kicking it across the floor? If they're mentally ill, you should want to be helping them, not kicking them across the floor like they're nothing. Why are you treating the therian community, who you so-called believe to be mentally ill, like actual shit? You are treating the therian community like shit. But then you say that therians are going through psychosis and all that shit. If you yourself know what psychosis is like, I do not, but you yourself say that it's terrible. In your own words, you say that it's terrible. So why are you treating people who you believe to have psychosis like actual shit? It doesn't add up.
If they're woke, idealistic mindsets, then you're the problem. If you don't drop everything when they tell you to drop it, if you don't agree with them on all of their takes, on all of their beliefs, on everything that they say is right and everything that they say is wrong, you're going to be next.
What? We're not going to cancel you just because you don't align with what we believe. We're not going to cancel you. I can 100% sure that you're not cancelled. You are not cancelled, because if you were cancelled, this would be an actual apology. And as far as I'm aware, the therian community, the only reason I know about this is because of Lexa. This has not become some kind of big deal within the community. If you were cancelled, yeah, it would be. We are not trying to cancel you. If you don't believe with us, if you don't in line with our ideologies, you're not going to get cancelled. I can assure you that.
Because I don't want to fall in line. I don't want to agree with everything without thinking about it. I don't want to just mindlessly say, that's cancelled, I don't agree with that. If there's another way that I can get around it and I can try and bring light to something and make it actually better and raise money for people that need money, sure, I'm going to do that.
That is a bit hypocritical. You have raised, what was it, $7,000 for the trans community. Therians get so much hate on a daily basis. If you want to stand up for people who don't have a voice, why are you hating on these 14-year-olds? If you really want to make communities right, why if you really believe we have psychosis, I don't think you've done anything for people with psychosis. If you believe that we have psychosis, then raise money for psychosis.
That's what I'm here for. I always say that I will always stand up for people that don't have a voice.
We don't have, well, therians don't have a voice either, do we? You have 200,000 subscribers. 200,000 subscribers. What do you think a small community of 14-year-olds is going to do against that?
I will always stand up for what I think is correct. I do not think this is correct anymore, and I do not apologize for what I said. I will not be bullied by left wokist ideological extremists anymore. I'm done. Thank you. Since my hot take on
I want to mention this. She says, if you didn't like this video, then you can always scroll away. If you didn't like this video, you can always scroll away, block me, or leave, because I'll be deleting all rude comments and the only people you're reflecting on your own community if you continue to harass me. And the only people you're reflecting on is your own community if you continue to harass me at this point. These are all hate comments. I didn't see you deleting any of them. Okay, this is the one. Peter Elliott. People could do whatever they want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. Catastrophe replied, yeah, and they hurt me enough so they can all do one. They hurt you not. They hurt you. It was not the Therians. Therians were not hating on you. Catastrophe. How did they? Let me know. She might not want to share. How exactly are they hurting you? She literally deleted my comment, calling her out about how she told another commenter to stay off the internet if they're too soft and sensitive to be on here. And she is saying a bunch of tweets in animal masks living their best life hurts her. Oh, the hypocrisy. This is coming from someone who used to support her. I'm confused where the apology part was. This was less than lawless. Jesus. Okay. I identify as a trans Gen Z, although I'm just at the start, so I don't know about the younger people, but I watched your Hogwarts Legacy gameplay because I heard you donate to offset your purchases, even though a lot of people of all ages goes for millennials too, have just said not to support the game at all, whatsoever. Now, I wasn't expecting an actual heartfelt apology, but this is just an unapologetic one. I'm proud that you took down the video and actually went to do your research, but I can't get over your connections that you made to the trans community, and was hoping you may apologize for that. And then for you to bring up psychosis just reminds me of my own personal experience of people telling me the same thing IRL about being trans. It just reminds me how back then they called gay people degenerates and are now calling trans people degenerates too, but say they are okay with gay people. It's the same shit for a different community. You denounce the majority and the loud minority, saying they're far-right extremists. It's bad when they are far on either side, but you're also saying shit that can be viewed far right too as just hypocritical. Catastrophe here. You aren't making any sense and you're just going in a circle. If you don't like my points, that's fine. Leave. I'm not explaining myself anymore. Okay, well, did you watch the video? Clara didn't call being trans psychosis. People are defending her, and I find that crazy. Did you watch the video? Clara didn't call being trans psychosis. You are not trans. If you watch Elixir's video, they clearly mention that trans. If you watch Elixir's video, they believe the comment about psychosis that she used against the Therian community is very often used against the trans community. Saying 90% of the LGBTQIA in the beginning was just wrong. It's not the 90% that's harassing people, it's the 10%, specifically the loudest 10%. That's 9% of the younger generation I can't stand. I don't care if you guys don't like it. Bye. Oh my god. I remember. This is from a member. I'm more of a conservative guy myself, but I don't believe in dictating belief to others. I believe that's your own business and it has nothing to do with me whatsoever. It's not my life. I grew up as an alternative just as yourself. I mostly play video games and went to movies, attended concerts and things like that. I don't do the LGBTQ stuff, but I also wish them no harm or ill will. I don't understand it personally, but you don't need it. It's not for me. I hope they are safe and secure and happy. I also hope they find fulfillment in whatever endeavours they choose to go for. The MAPs, however, I cannot support you on any ethical level, but the others were cool. At the end of the day, though, I find the biggest problem is people can't mind their own business anymore. I will say this problem is not for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you, that's fine. You're free to disagree with me. I see no issues with that. Well wishes, have fun. I just don't agree with people telling me I can't have a fair opinion on something. I'm transphobic if I do. Okay, she has a point. You can have an opinion, but be respectful about it. You are not being respectful at all. You could have just said I don't support therians and left it at that. But no, you went on to say they were going through psychosis and that they are impacting the trans community, even though they are two complete different communities. Two completely different. They have nothing in common. Other than feeling like something is wrong with that. As a part of the Therian community, I love you and I always will. P.S. I'm also a Gen Z. Damn, I thought I was the only one. XD. Thank you for not being cringe. Same seriously, why couldn't just all be children friends? Because I understand the community is toxic. Sadly, but like sometimes I wish it was different, you know, same. I will say, I'm a Gen Z who uses neopronouns, he/z, Z. And I don't think I'm making a joke about my community, and I do think it's important to separate trans people using neopronouns from therians. I agree with you, take out the therians, but I do believe as a cis person, it's not your job to policy how trans people chose to live their lives. Neopronouns don't hurt anyone. Let them live their lives. This video makes me want to know where you draw the line. Do you support non-binary people? That word trans people, okay. How different from your norm is someone before you decide there are woke extremists. Also, I don't agree with you on Harry Potter. I agree with you on Harry Potter. Name myself after a Harry Potter creator. I just have an issue with you being a cis person policying how trans someone gets to before they decide they don't count as trans, so you get to hate them. All trans people are trans regardless of how woke their pronouns are. Spelling. Do you see anyone policy? No, I said my piece. If you don't like it, you can leave. I have no time for it anymore. Don't let the internet control you. No disagreement. She has not deleted any hate comments. She has just said she's just replied and then left. She has not deleted, she's deleted barely any comments. This is from okay, valid, solid arguments. I get very little shifts though, and I never try to disconnect myself from reality. This is human, I'm human, this is real. They don't speak for everyone. I love the style. I'm trans and I don't agree with you. Therian. I promise you that my friend is not this must be Alexa's friend. I promise you that my friend is not at fault for any of the harassment you got. They literally told people like so many times not to harass you. Blaming them is wrong. I don't know. I don't like that you came after and shaded my friend. They have valid points. Maybe don't be hateful. I don't know. Crazy thought, LeMayo. This is actually insane. She has compared therians, a completely different community, to another completely different community that she herself is not a part of. She is not a part of the trans community. She can support it all she wants, but she cannot speak for them. I cannot speak for them. I can only speak for therians. She has been clearly misinformed. I am not blaming her for misinformation, but I'm a therian. Is she putting on that fake stuff like a lot of people do? Therians are... I'm a therian. How long have I been streaming for? She is not a therian. She is not trans. She cannot speak for either communities. Do I blame her for having an opinion on therians? No, but I do blame her for not. She is not her fault for any of the hate she got. She is not at fault for getting misinformed. But even after doing actual research, she has somehow twisted it in a way to make us think we're mentally ill and need help and we're not normal. We are normal. Theories have existed for millions of years, thousands of years. It's not just something that popped up during COVID or popped up during the 2000s. Therians have existed for ages and ages. But she has made points, and I do agree with them. She has made fair points that I do agree with. But her overall message is just misinformed and no. It's definitely a response to Alexa's video. But I can't deal with this anymore. Anyways, I'm going to end because I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can talk about. So, yeah. Bye.